It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. And folks, he was out yesterday practicing on the range in the rain, just like Scotty Scheffler was yesterday. Dale Hillestray.
You know, Steve, once you're wet, you might as well continue to finish.
Well, that I agree with.
You know, it's one thing if you're completely dry, but in the rain, might as well finish it up before we get showered up.
Hours on end, just out there on the range, hitting some golf balls.
That's the difference between Scotty and 95% of other golfers. I think he was the only guy out.
The thing I wanted to see, was there other golfers out there? That tells me no, because everybody focused on him.
Yeah.
But everybody else was cowering in the locker room, toweling off.
Well, what I want to know is, you know, I go to bed last night and I'm like, gosh, I do a show with a very, very, very powerful man. Very powerful man. His name is Steve McCollum. I mean, he literally speaks things into existence.
I've been on my high horse for about. I was at my HOA meeting last night, Dale. My chest was puffed out a little bit farther.
Yeah, did you know what I caused in the Big 12?
Not just that, but I've been telling you guys. Even Lou yesterday came in here yesterday, Dale.
Yeah,
and was like, Kyler Murray's not going to the Vikings.
He questioned you,
you moron. He openly questioned me and told me how wrong I was.
Steve, when are people going to learn?
Seriously, folks. Dale, I agree with you. When?
When are they gonna? So you spoke a new court for the Big 12 semifinals into existence. You told us back in week 6.
What was it? November, December? I told you where
Kyler Murray is going to Minnesota. I mean, the hits just keep on coming. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Steve McCollum.
I'm actually shocked on the Big 12 thing. That court was so much garbage. And actually, I have a beef to pick on this. The women played on it, and they were like, oh, they complained about it. Oh, shut up and play. The first 2 rounds of the Big 12 men's tournament. Oh, just shut up and play. And now it's like, oh, we better change this.
Well, I think it was when one or two
the injury issue.
A couple guys that were kind of important to their teams.
Not kind of.
Got injured.
Yeah. It's slippery. Very, very slippery. Where I noticed it watching the games yesterday and then the day before was when they tried to explode to the hoop. Was when they would. It wasn't when they were just playing regularly. It was when they had to like make a fast movement.
Right.
And you just saw them slip and stuff like that. So going to a wooden court there on the Big 12. So we'll be able to watch these games without headaches, Dale. Finally, starting this morning. Do they have a wood one just sitting there, by the way, or do they have to like fly it in? Like, do they have to call somebody and be like, they shipped over in a hurry?
Oh, I'm sure. There? Where are they? Kansas City? I'm sure they can go get an extra one at KU.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Kansas State's right down the road. Stuff like that. This floor is atrocious. It was the worst design ever made. But then yesterday you started seeing how it was uneven. And here's the other side of it. It was meant to be flexible. So when you walked on it, you got a little bit of a bounce.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever played basketball before, but you want a hard floor for the ball bounces properly and you can move around properly and stuff like that. Yeah, a big miss by the Big 12. Yeah, with this floor.
And again, I don't necessarily mind them trying it, but I'm like, okay, so they come out with the rendering. Don't you kind of go when you first see it, go, that's kind of blah for this new wave glass court.
You know, my complaint was that whole XII everywhere on there was just hard to watch. But, you noticed it when the women's Big 12 tournament was on there that something wasn't right on it, but you couldn't put your finger. Boy, when the men are out there playing, you notice something's off out there. I mean, it cost BYU the game yesterday. Just start blaming the floor for it. Yeah, so last night, I'll tell you this. I was reading some stuff. Tommy Lloyd, very upset about the floor, but he wouldn't speak about it publicly.
Right.
A lot of the coaches, even Bill Self, they asked him and go, what about the floors? And he goes, basically he said no comment. And then after they announced the floor, he goes, they listened. They finally made the right choice.
Yeah.
So they've been complaining behind the scenes.
I have a feeling
which
they
is
were.
probably the way to do it. Because if they would have been vocal about it up front to the media, you could see the Big 12 and all their glorious awesomeness doubling down and being like, nope, this is our court. There's nothing wrong with it.
Or the media taking to say it's Kansas and U of A that are moaning and groaning. All of a sudden they're spoiled brats.
Exactly. So I think the coaches of the Big 12 did a fantastic job not openly criticizing it and doing it all behind the scenes. That's probably what got them to change and the bottom line of it type of thing. I mean, obviously the injury concern. I mean, yesterday there's a couple guys where you were like, did he just blow out his knee trying to move to the basket there? Like, what just happened? It was brutal. But yes, Dale, Big 12, yeah, I appreciate you trying it. It was a great concept. Needs to be worked on and stuff like that.
Probably a very expensive bad shot.
I don't get why you can't. So have that court underneath and then put like a nice hard layer of a clear see-through surface on it or something. So you have the hardwood there on top, on top of it. So you can still do. But even then, the graphics, the introductions look so awesome. Bright, like if you watched the Kansas introduction yesterday, bright, vibrant blue, the mascot running on the court. And then the game started, muted brown with XII everywhere. It was just brutal, man.
Yeah.
So, Dale, we're safe from that. Then, of course, we've already mentioned it. I'd like to take credit for nailing Kyler Murray to the Vikings, folks. I'm not going to tell you that it was written in stone back in November, December when I first floated it. Back then, there was some question marks if it could happen. But I will tell you, since the Cardinals said they were going to release him, and probably 2 weeks before that, I was 99.9% confident Kyler Murray was going to the Vikings. It was written in stone. O'Connell wanted him. The Vikings wanted him. He wanted to go to the Vikings. If you watched the press conference yesterday, even though he grew up in Texas, was a big Brett Favre fan. So, because Brett Favre's from Mississippi, that area. And a big Brett Favre fan when he was in Minnesota, loved watching the Vikings because of it. And it was just a match made in heaven. It was so obvious it was going to happen. And then a couple beat writers there in Minnesota were just like, Kyler Murray's coming in. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. The way the organization's acting, the way they've always loved him, the way they've always talked about him. O'Connell back in with the draft when he was, I forget who a team he was with. But he loved him then in that draft. If he obviously didn't go number one, they would have tried to have taken him. And all signs pointed to Kyler Murray, Minnesota. And I'm just going to say it again. Robert yesterday tweeted at me, and he said, because I put out there, I said, Cardinals fans, this one might hurt a little bit. And what I mean by that is, and I've told you before, we're going to find out if Kyler Murray of old can still play, or if it's Kyler Murray of now, who the problem is. Because I'm telling you guys, if Kyler Murray is going to come back as his old self and have a ton of success, Minnesota's the place he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And I've got a bad feeling the Vikings are going to go places this year. I'm not saying Super Bowl win, 10, 11, 12 wins in that division, playoffs. And it's going to hurt because we're all going to be sitting here in Cardinals land going, why couldn't he do that here?
Well, he said more yesterday than I think he has in a year and a half in Arizona.
I know. He was chatty Cathy out
back
there,
in
man.
2009, I cried at the interception.
Yeah, I'm not even a Vikings fan, and I cried at Brett Favre's interceptions.
You hate Minnesota.
I do. I was so happy, Brett.
You're in tears of joy.
That's what Brett Favre did, though, right? But even Robert said, not going to be upset at all. You can't pay that much for, he phrased it something like, yeah, pay that much for a subpar performance. That's not what I'm talking about. The Cardinals did the right move in moving on from Kyler Murray. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you would have gone to the Jets, whatever, Kyler Murray, have fun with the Jets. Don't care what you do. He's got a chance in Vikings. Folks, look at the Vikings lineup. Their tight end, Justin Jefferson, running backs. He's stacked with talent on this team. head coach that can coach him. A head coach that's probably going to command respect from him to where he's not going to talk smack to him. Oh.
Organization raving
bathroom.
about the practice facility.
Oh, my God. Would he shut up about the practice facility for 2 seconds? It's always ranked up there in the top 2 or 3. This year, the Dolphins had the number 1, but it's always ranked up there. But, dear God, he wouldn't stop talking about it. Here's the other sad thing about Cardinals, if you think about it. 2019, they drafted 2 players, Kyler Murray and a local kid.
Yeah.
Murphy.
Yeah.
Byron Murphy
from Saguaro High School.
Local kid. How excited are you? Bruce Cooper's coming in today at 9 o'clock, and I'm looking forward to asking Coop this. How excited are you for the Cardinals to draft either players that'll be out of the league in 3 years or some other future team's best players in free agency? The 2 top picks of 2019 are now Minnesota Vikings. Everybody else, the defensive lineman Allen, he's with Denver still. He signed with Denver in free agency for big money.
Having a hell of a career.
Yeah. Oh, improved career over what he did here. And he was good here. I was actually mad the Cardinals wouldn't pay him to stay.
But they offered him a lot of money. You're like, is it really? Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah. But other than that, they're pretty much out of the league. Andy Isabella. Yeah. This one's going to hurt a little bit, Dale. I just got a bad feeling about it. I hope I'm wrong on this. I hope this one I'm wrong on. I hope Kyler Murray just goes up there and looks like Kyler Murray of this year. Gets hit in the face with the ball and,
Why do I have a feeling he gets hit in the face with the ball? He's going to bounce back pretty quick.
I hope he gets hit in the face with the ball and his dad's out for a couple weeks.
Aaron Jones Sr. running back, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson at tight end. Now, again, the only place where the Cardinals have them beat is at tight end, even though Hawkinson's pretty good.
Hawkinson's a really good tight end. He's not obviously to Trey levels, but with that offense. Yeah. No. Folks, if you don't know, Kyler Murray, this is how disgusting this is going to be for Vikings fans. They all were on the J.J. McCarthy bandwagon. Oh, get rid of Sam Darnold. J.J.'s our guy. And I was like, J.J.'s not your guy, guys. He's terrible. He's not going to be good. Doesn't mean he can't develop into something. Just right now, he's not good. And they were like, oh, and then 3 weeks into the season, they're all like, oh, my God, he's terrible. He had those great fourth-quarter comebacks and stuff like that. He could do no offense with this Vikings. And if you know anything about Kyler Murray, disappointment here from the expectation levels and stuff to that effect, Kyler Murray can play with talent. Go back to Cliff Kingsbury era with Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins, and those guys. He's basically gone from a UFL team here in the Cardinals to a upper tier talent Minnesota Vikings team on the offensive side. That's what Kyler Murray just did. And you can't tell me he's not going to look better because of it. Dale, I wish you would have signed with the Jets. Just my life.
Yeah, you know what? And the amazing thing about all this is you're talking about there's no negotiation. He was going to get the veteran minimum wherever he went.
That's the thing. $1.5 million or whatever it is. 1 year.
Wow.
Here's the other side of it. Think about this for a second, folks. Kyler Murray here gets the big contract and regress. I blame both Kyler Murray and I blame the team. I'm on both bandwagons here on that. A lot of people just blame Kyler Murray. A lot of people just blame Drew Penzing and the coaching staff, etc. I blame the organization and Kyler Murray for not being able to figure it out. Kyler Murray is up there playing for the league minimum. Now, he's getting paid $35 million from the Cardinals, so it's not like he's not getting paid. But he's in Minnesota. He becomes a free agent after this year. In the contract, no tag designation for him as well, which means Kyler Murray, after this year, is going to be a free agent quarterback out there. And if he goes out there like he's potentially going to be able to do, Dale, and take the Vikings to 10, 11, 12 wins into the playoffs, has a great statistical season, looks like Kyler Murray of old back in the day when he had good receivers on that team, Oh my God, he's gonna be signing someplace for $50 million or
A la
more.
Sam Darnold, are you saying? It's been done very recently there?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I see the future. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying very good potential. If you would have asked me right now to put money on it, I'm putting money on that scenario right now. Not that he's
I
gonna
mean,
sign.
if I have to bet him succeeding in Minnesota or him failing in Minnesota, I'd bet money that he's going to succeed.
It makes nothing but sense for this to happen
Mm.
for multiple reasons, but mainly because as Cardinals fans, we just can't have nice things. As Dale says, we're gonna get T-shirts made on that.
Yeah, Valley can't have nice
It's
sports
just
things.
of all the teams he could have signed with.
Well, that's a
one
personal
team.
thing for you.
It's no. Forget about the Vikings side of it. Forget about Minnesota and just always disappoint you. Oh, if you want to get personal on this is what upsets me the most. There's a potential that Kyler Murray is going to make the Vikings what I always make fun of them being. He's going to make them not be what I've always said they are. Really good regular season and then miss wide right on a playoff. First field goal missed all season long. Get to the Super Bowl, purple people eater days, 4 Super Bowls, and just get their butts kicked. Just failure after failure. Minnesota teams get you there, and you're all excited at how great they are. Best teams in the NFL, best team in the NBA, best team in baseball. And then just playoffs happen, and then they just grab your heart like in Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, and they rip it out, and they watch it bleeding, and they just... Kyler Murray has the potential to change that with the Vikings. And that makes me the most nauseous. Dave.
Wow.
On a personal level. That's
you
how I
went
feel
back to
about it.
1998 and Gary Anderson in the blink of an eye.
I remember I was sitting in my apartment when that happened. And I had a bunch of Vikings fans that were just talking so much crap that year in my corporate job. And I was just like, the Vikings. These fans are just annoying sons of guns, but they're really good, whatever.
Yeah.
That thing went right. That was back in the day when you had the flip phones and you had to go 333 444 to make the text. I sent so many texts doing that. It's like, oh, sorry about that. These loudmouth Vikings fans are all like, I don't think I texted. I think I actually called them. But the point being, I go back to that like yesterday. And I was like, ooh, that sucks. And a little smile just developed.
That's almost 30 years ago, Steve. Do you realize that?
I know. It's ridiculous.
They were 15-1
Yeah.
that year.
They were the best team in the NFL, and it wasn't even close. Atlanta Falcons. Well, didn't that guy for Atlanta get arrested for picking up a prostitute right before the Super Bowl? Wasn't that year?
The NFL Man of the Year.
Yeah. Wasn't that year?
Yeah.
That's what the Vikings do to you. Atlanta wasn't supposed to be in the Super Bowl that year. And look, they got the Man of the Year arrested. All because...
Yeah, just think about that. If they didn't make the Super Bowl, he wouldn't have got arrested.
Or at least it wouldn't have been top-level news the night before the Super Bowl. See what the Vikings do to you, folks? And now, Kyler Murray to the Vikings now.
And you're tickled pink.
I'm actually intrigued by this. Now, I joke around a lot. Yes, Minnesota, I could care less if Minnesota wins or Minnesota loses. But I'm being serious now. This is the best place for Kyler Murray to land. And I'm interested in seeing what he can do. Like I said, I blame it basically a 50-50 ratio here between the Cardinals organization and Kyler Murray. They just didn't mesh for some reason. We're going to find out if it's Kyler or we're going to find out if it was the team, is what we're about to find out. And I want to know that answer.
Well, and the things that I look at is you're going to get a motivated Murray.
Yeah.
You're going to get excited Murray.
Yeah.
You're going to get him coached by a really good coach.
Watch the press conference yesterday, Dale. It was like Kyler Murray was at Christmas time opening up presents as a 12-year-old.
Well, I'm sure his agent said, Kyler, this is it.
I think Kyler knows that.
If you don't get this going here, You're going to the Oakland A's single A
Because
team.
Kyler Murray's one of those guys that just kind of like Cam Newton. You know, he always complains, why am I not a backup in the league? Because you don't want to be a backup, and nobody wants you as a backup. That's Kyler Murray. It's going to be starter or done.
Oh.
So, yeah. But I think Kyler Murray recognizes that, which is why there's one thing you cannot not say about Kyler Murray and his team. Say what you want about his agent, Burkhardt. Say what you want about them. They're very smart and they're very calculating. They played the Cardinals like a fiddle on that pay raise when it happened and stuff to that effect. Just literally you're going to do what we want. They are very smart people.
Hey, they did right by their
situation.
client. Obviously, if you're a fan or if you're the Cardinals, you're going, we paid a lot of money for not much.
But again, I don't put that all on Kyler Murray. I'll tell you guys right now, I think I've said this on air. If I haven't said it on air, I'll say it right now. The reason why Kyler Murray didn't come back and play for the Cardinals is because the Cardinals shut him down.
Very well. There could have been so many things, but that could be one of them because they had an injury guarantee and stuff like that.
I believe executive level down, why don't we put it that way? GM level said, we're done with Kyler Murray. We're moving on from Kyler Murray. I have no doubt in my mind. Just look at the way Kyler Murray talked about Jonathan Gannon when he got fired. Put out that post. Thinks very highly of him. Dumb. It just the Cardinals organization. This is the potential, and I'm here for this. Embarrass the Cardinals as much as possible, is my opinion. It's hard to do anymore because I don't think they can be embarrassed, Dale.
You know, to think about that, you get called into a high-level meeting. Hey, Jonathan, Petsing, we're shutting Kyler down from the ownership level down, so you won't have him for the rest of the year. And then, you know, we'll probably lose some games. Then we can move on next year and
you're going to go 1-11
and all that. Oh, by the way, you might not be here.
I also firmly believe, from what I've been told from people around it, that Jonathan Gannon was safe going into that last week. I think not winning a game at the end. They thought he'll win 2 or 3 here to finish the season. They'll finish 3-9 or whatever instead of 1-11. I firmly believe they thought that, and then they were like, "Oh, then we'll bring it back." The fact he went over, though, I think it changed I was like, we can't. Like I always say, you can't bring a guy back who just went, 1-11 since benching the starting quarterback. Here's the other side of it. This is how bad were the Cardinals last year, Dale? Bad. They were bad.
Yeah.
Terrible. Bad. So bad that the NFC North is now determined that they're taking everybody from the Cardinals that was bad last year, and they're in that. Jonathan Gannon, defensive coordinator, Packers. Drew Pensing, offensive coordinator, Lions. Kyler Murray, your new starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. Is Michael Bidwell now going to be an owner of the NFC North? Like, what are we doing here? What's the NFC North doing? Did they not pay attention to the Cardinals these last couple years? Last year especially? And now they're like, oh, we'll take all your Cardinals rejects up here in the frigid North.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, isn't it, when you look at it that way?
It's shocking to me.
Head coach.
One division.
Head coach lands on his feet. Offense coordinator lands on his feet. Defense coordinator gets another shot. The thing is, what's fascinating to me when you take a step back and look at it, the 2 guys that they decided to keep from the debacle, one of them was the masterpiece of the roster, the general manager, your boy Monty Ossenfort.
The terrible Monty's mom, I apologize for talking this way about your son.
Yeah.
You are a glorious lady. Love you to death. So I apologize for what I'm just talking on a GM level. I have to apologize to her.
He might be a great son, great dad.
He is. But as a GM, it's lacking.
But we have with the 3rd pick in the draft, and we're going to allow you to deal with that again.
Who are we drafting today that's going to be on another team with the big free agent contract here in 4 years, Dale? That's what I want to know. Also, punch the ticket for Malawaga, the Miami lineman, to be the 3rd pick here in the
short
NFL
arms, Steve. Short arms.
Just put the name in now. Like, just send it to the NFL now. Who we're taking? It's so obvious right now what they're doing. It's so obvious, Dale. It's not even a question mark right now. At number 3, I'm just not a fan of that move.
Hey, real quick. Did I dream that I read this, or did I actually see it that Josh Sweat's asked for a trade?
Okay.
Did I dream that?
No. So I mentioned this, I think, yesterday on the show, but I saw a couple people. They're around NFL teams, but they're not like, breaking news guys and stuff like that. And one of the guys said the other day, when Jonathan Gannon was fired, Jonathan Sweat asked for a trade. And I casually mentioned it on here a few days ago. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not hearing it anywhere else, nothing like that. No, you're right. Yesterday, 2 or 3 people said, reported it, put a graphic together and everything, which means it's official, right? Josh Sweat asked for a trade. To the point where I saw somebody say, it might have been Josh Weinford, somebody said, I checked with the Cardinals. And the answer is absolutely not did he ask for a trade. I don't necessarily believe the Cardinals, to be honest with you. But that's alarming if that's happened.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you go Angel, what's his name from Ohio State linebacker?
Arvell.
Yeah, because you might need a pass rusher if you have to unload Josh Sweat. Is Josh Sweat going to become the new Max Crosby? He doesn't get his way, he wants out. And then when it doesn't go his way, I want to be with the Raiders again. I've always wanted to be a Raider. I bleed black and gray. Oh, gold. Or whatever colors they have.
Silver.
Silver. Yeah, but you were begging for a trade 2 weeks ago, Tiger. Oh, no. I've never wanted to leave here.
Oh.
Luke got on me about that, too. Me calling Max Brett Favre Crosby. He got mad at me about that yesterday, too. So he said that was my stupidest take I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, he actually did. And I go, really? With everything I've said? That's the stupidest thing.
Are you and Lou still talking today?
Well, yeah, because I was right on the Vikings. It was everything in my power last night not to edit that video up of him basically calling me stupid for thinking he's going to the Vikings. I wanted to edit that video up and then just tag him on it. It's unfair though, because he doesn't know what I do. I was confident because of things I've talked to people that were very, very confident and people that would be in the know of what the Vikings wanted to do and stuff like that. So that's why I was so confident on that. Normally, I'm not that confident, Dale. I'm just like, oh, this could happen. Robert says, so if Kyler leads Minnesota to the playoffs, who do we sue for malpractice? It's just another day in the sports life of Phoenix fans. That's all we can chalk it up to, Robert. That's all we can do. Justin Jefferson is going to have like an all, Jerry Rice year this year with Kyler just launching down Atkinson,
Beautiful long balls.
It's going to have just this beautiful year, Then you're going to be throwing it to Hawkins. Trey, my biggest complaint about Trey as a tight end is he really likes those 5 and 8 yard patterns. He doesn't go deep at all.
He really likes them, or that's what's called for him?
Okay, that's the way to put it. He's flourished with those short routes, probably the offense calling it. I'm not blaming Trey for this. I'd like to see him 10 yards, 12 yards down the field, spreading that defense out a little bit, instead of these little short routes. But again, more of an offensive issue, I believe, than that. Hawkinson, yeah, he'll go 20 yards downfield. He don't care. He launch the ball at him.
Oh, but that's the thing. So you get to use some football lingo. They like the yak yardage that McBride can come up with. Catch the ball 5 yards, gain 6.
But he was the only one they liked the yak yardage on. Nobody else could get yak.
No.
Wilson could when Marv was out. But other than that, no, Cardinals receivers were tackled. The second they caught the ball, always tackled out there. Robert also says, aren't the Cardinals still a whole bunch under the cap? I think last I saw, and it was a couple days ago, they were $36 million under the cap. Last I looked. We can look that up here real quick as well. Overthecap.com if you don't know where you can easily find that for you guys wondering that as well. Dale, are you looking that up?
Yeah.
Okay. Last night, like I said, it was like 2 days ago. Obviously, yesterday they announced all their signings of guys passing their physicals and everything, so they're officially signed yesterday as well. We'll get into that with Coop coming up here. We're going to ask Coop as well how his draft changes here with these signings out there. Because, like I said, to me, everything is pointing to offensive tackle being the first pick for the Cardinals this year, even though they signed a better than average tackle yesterday as well. I do think they're going to go for another spot and a high draft pick spot to come in that spot. They also signed a Jonah Williams yesterday as well, Dale. I almost had a heart attack when I saw this.
By the way, the Cardinals, it looks like they have it goes Titans with $70 million, and this is over the cap, which I think keeps it up to date.
Yeah, they do. And they actually factor in some of the bonuses and stuff. That's why that's the preferred one in my eyes.
So the Titans, number one, $70 million. Commanders, $69, talking millions. Chargers, $65. Cardinals, $62.
62?
That's what this says as of today. So.
All right. I saw 36, but don't quote me on that.
And again, I don't know what. All I can tell you is what.
No. I trust their numbers before mine.
Yeah. I
don't know. When I saw the 36, Kyler still might have been on the roster technically or something to that effect.
They got $25 million in dead cap money. Let me see.
Well,
here.
most of that's Kyler at that point, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and then again, so there's a couple different ones. Spock.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Cardinals are at 6 with $46.7 million.
I'm wondering if the number I saw had, because Kyler Murray didn't technically get cut until Wednesday.
Right.
So some of these sites don't factor the fact he's getting cut in until it actually happens out there and stuff like that. So that's a lot of money to be made still.
Yes.
I'll say
to spend.
I'll say this, other than the quarterback situation, I think the Cardinals have missed a huge opportunity to bring in Kirk Cousins into this offense. Whether he's a backup or he beats out Jacoby Brissett, I think they've made a huge mistake not bringing him into this team. For a veteran, Jacoby Brissett's a great veteran leader. Don't get me wrong. I love him a lot. The team loves him, stuff to that. It's just to have both of those guys on this team would have been better than a Gardner Minshew, Jacoby Brissett situation. Other than the quarterback situation, though, I think the Cardinals have hit a home run here. They haven't paid a ton, and they've gotten quality guys that are going to make an impact on this team, barring they stay healthy, which is a question mark with Monty's free agents. And like I said, they signed. I'm sitting here yesterday. Or was it 2 days ago? And I'm like, Jonah Williams with the Cardinals. I was like, no, they did not just sign him again after that disaster overpayment and disaster situation. And I went, oh, thank God, the defensive lineman from the Saints. But why would you even do that to us, Card? I think the Cardinals are trolling us, Dale. Only the Cardinals will be like, you want to play a joke on everybody? Let's sign Jonah Williams. And just put out that we signed Jonah Williams. Watch everybody freak out. Oh, my God. Ridiculous. But I like what the Cardinals have done. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm not even going to say they're going to compete with the other three teams in the division this year. But I like what they've done. They
finished 9 games out of not first, not second.
This stat is depressing.
Not third. They finished in fourth place by 9
behind
days.
The third spot.
Yes.
Yeah, Dale. I'm not saying they're going to compete in their division, Dale. I'm saying they're doing a good job. Here's the other thing that I've noticed. If you've watched any of the press, Roy Lopez coming back. The kid they got, wide receiver from San Francisco, his press conference and stuff. If you're noticing something with these guys signing here, they want to be here.
Yeah.
Even the guard from the Steelers, the number 3 guard, he flat out said, look, money's a big part of this. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's not. But I also want to be here.
Right.
And every interview we have seen, it wasn't. You don't get the impression somebody's like, I'm going to go there because they're paying $10 million more than everybody.
Right.
These guys legitimately want to come here and play for this team and this coaching staff and that stuff. I think that's exciting to see as well. But that's what a new coach. You wouldn't have that if Jonathan Gannon was still here. You might have a few guys, but we're seeing good players choose the Cardinals to come here. But even Bourne said, no, there was no bidders for me. Only the Cardinals called. That also worries you a little bit, though, doesn't it, Dale? How many people were pursuing you? Nobody. Just the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think I keep it a little vague. Yeah, I had some phone calls.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. To be honest with you, Bourne is probably a second-tier free agent. Should he have gone in the first day? Maybe not. He's not a high target amount, but he's somebody that a lot of teams probably had interest in. It's just they weren't focusing on him in day one, except for the. But that also tells you what, Dale? Cardinals looked at him. Cardinals said, identified him, and Cardinals went, we want him on this team. Let's go get him. They did that with the Steelers guard. They did that with this tackle they signed yesterday. They did it with Lopez again. We don't see that with the Cardinals. Usually they're just back going, who's left? You want to come here? You want to come here? No? How about you? You want to come here?
Steve, even I had 6 teams interested in me.
But not on the first day.
Yeah, very first day.
Oh, well, you're freaking Dale. Oh, here's the big. We haven't even talked about this, Dale. The Cardinals got a new long snapper.
Yeah, did you see what he signed for?
Yeah. Does that make you nauseous?
Jeez.
I was going to text you and be like, you owe me lunch with how much money you long snappers make. You've been lying to
I
us
owe
all
you
this
lunch
time.
with how much money I didn't make.
No, I know. Well, no, I was just going to pretend like you made that kind of money back then. But that tells you Brewer's going to retire or something. They're moving on from him. And why would he leave teams after all this time?
Why would Brewer?
Brewer, yeah, the long snapper. He's been here forever. So that tells me he's probably going to retire. So maybe not. But they signed a new long snapper.
Boy.
That's different, though. Changing long snappers is a bigger deal than people give it credit for.
Why would you, if you're Aaron Brewer, why would you ever retire as a long snapper?
Well, you did.
No, I got my jersey ripped off my back.
Well, that could be happening, too.
Don't show up.
I'm just assuming Brewer's doing that on his own terms. That might not be the case. He might just make too much money. Well, he didn't compared to this new kid coming in.
It doesn't make a whole lot. I don't remember a whole lot of bad things going on last year, snap-wise.
Never. He was very consistent. The problem was with the punters or the field goal kickers themselves. Now, they got an experienced guy. They didn't go out what a lot of teams will do, and they're not drafting somebody in the draft to come in and be a rookie do it. They got an experienced guy. So that gives me a little bit more comfort. But changing long snappers is a big deal, and it can mess stuff up. So it's something to pay attention to. Dale, let's take a break here. Come back. We'll look at the Players' Championship. Of course, Bruce Cooper is joining us here this morning as well. So come on back, folks. The main event. And we're back here. Don't forget, text us 623-252-6670. Hit us up on X as well at TME Sports Show. Autumn texted in and says, the best part of Kyler to Minnesota is imagining the heads exploding of some of Steve's former Minnesota fans. They used to mock Kyler relentlessly, and now they have to cheer for him. And that is a good point, Autumn. Those relentless jerks of fans there on the radio, man. They were calling Radio Ron to get me fired because they didn't like the way I talked about Minnesota.
I can't imagine, dear sweet Minnesota fans.
One of them was like Skull on Twitter. Another one was it was ridiculous. The more they did it, the more I made fun of them on air. But yeah, they just were like, Kyler's stupid, Kyler sucks, blah blah blah. Actually, one of them I still interact with a little bit. He's just a misguided guy is what he is. Just put it that way. I talk to him every once in a while on DMs on Twitter, and he goes, like a month ago, he goes, sounds like Kyler to the Vikings. And I go, yep. I go, it's going to happen. I go, brace yourself. It's going to happen. He just shot back like crying emojis. And I go, well, at least he's better than JJ. I do like all the memes, though, of Justin Jefferson. Hey, here's first photo of Justin Jefferson and Kyler. And Justin Jefferson's like normal. And then Kyler's like eyes are barely in the frame. I do love those.
Well, does this, what's interesting that nobody's really talking about, does this mean that the Vikings have completely written off J.J. McCarthy after 1 year?
That's a good question. I'll have to reach out and ask that. I didn't ask that. I'm not going to say, my impression is they haven't written him off. He was not ready to step into that starting role. Okay. I'll even go so far to say the coach was forced to go with J.J. McCarthy last year. Came down from a high. Who's been fired since then? The GM in Minnesota has been fired. So what does that tell you?
Well, remember you drafted him with a first-round pick.
Yep.
You gave him a year on the bench behind Darnold.
No. They wanted him to start that year. He had his knee injury, which made Darnold start, and they happened to have a really good year that year.
Yes.
Yeah, they were starting that first year, though. Yeah. They got lucky by him getting hurt and going out there. But the GM's been fired, so that tells me the GM was the one that made that decision of going with JJ last year. And the coaches won that quote-unquote power struggle. But now, make no mistake about it. O'Connell wanted Kyler. Kyler wanted to go there. Going to live and die together.
Right.
We'll see. Does Kyler kill another coach? Or does McConnell dominate here in Minnesota this year? And that division is down this year, whether you like it or not. I mean, Bears are going to be up or similar to what they were. I do think the Lions are taking they took a big step back last year. I told you that was going to happen last year. I'm not saying the Lions are going to get worse. I don't know how much better they'll maybe a couple games better. The Packers are going to be all right. They're probably my favorite to win that division. So Vikings have a chance to stick their head up there again and have a good season. It's nauseating. Hey, the Players Championship, Dale's going on right now. Rain yesterday afternoon out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, early this morning, things have changed. But after yesterday, just like we all had it, Sepp Straka was leading this tournament at the end of yesterday. Everybody had that, right?
Yes, sir.
This morning, Corey Connors has charged up there. He's -9 as of right now through 9 today. Xander Schauffele is playing really well in this tournament as well. But it is interesting how we talked about him earlier doing the driving range in the rain yesterday. But, man, are we seeing the downhill trend here of Scotty Scheffler at the beginning of this year? What I mean by that is struggles on the first 2 days. If he makes the cut, then he kind of comes back at the end. But to me, that's a sign of we're on the backside of his dominating success.
Well, he's too young to be on the backside of his success. But
I'm talking about the dominating success where he runs away with a tournament.
It sets a couple things out loud for everybody, I believe.
Yeah.
Because last year before, a lot of people were going, boy, oh boy, Tiger Woods, Scotty Scheffler, Tiger Woods.
Yep.
Well, Tiger Woods, ladies and gentlemen, did it for about 18 years before injuries took a hold of him.
Before he took a 5-iron to the back of the
Yes.
SUV.
And then that started to spiral down for him.
But
But
Dale, everybody's vice is those Denny waitresses, though. I mean, that's why I don't even go into a Denny's anymore. It's just, man, you just can't stay away from those ladies.
there's so many things about that you just it boggles your mind.
Well, especially with who he is.
But with who he is, with who he was with, anyway. Anyway,
Hey, Waffle House and Denny's. I don't
Hey.
even mess with those ladies because I just can't stay away from them, folks.
it's a lot like Robert Kraft driving
Himself,
himself in a
Yeah.
Rolls Royce to
yeah,
a strip mall massage
Yes.
parlor.
an establishment.
Wow.
You shouldn't walk in. It just happens to get raided by the FBI that day.
But when you look at Scotty Scheffler, he's dominated for about 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, and this year something's off. Just a
but
little
is something
bit.
off with him? Well, something's off with him, no doubt. But have the players gotten better around him?
No, because
You don't
again,
think so? All
for him to almost miss every cut this season so far, that's not him.
No.
Now, possibly winning, have players gotten better? You can always argue that.
Well, I'm going to argue no because he comes back and gets like within 2 strokes
Yeah,
of the
he-
lead for Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
Barely made the cut in Phoenix and finished top 6 or 7.
Wasn't he like third?
Top
You know, he
five.
barely missed the playoff. I thought. Is that Phoenix that he did that? It
I
was one
think
of
he was
those.
maybe top 4.
Yeah. There was one tournament where he just missed out of a playoff.
And there were a couple other like that. But
Yeah.
why on Thursdays is it he comes out? And it's now been it's been every tournament.
Yes.
And
It's
is
no
that?
longer oops weekend.
Yeah.
It's a trend. Yeah, something's changed. Home life. Kids are older. I mean, they're still babies, but maybe he just needs to go to Kentucky and get a good rest before his tournament again and get those juices flowing again.
It's fascinating because I think there could be a study done on athletes who are single or dominating, then get married.
But he's not one of those partiers and
No, but get married.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden they start having kids. And what's the parallel with their career?
Yeah.
You know, because again, when you're single,
All you
you,
think
you
about.
could go play every day. You can play 36 holes. You can do whatever.
And you can hang out at a Denny's and
Yeah.
not feel guilty about it.
And then if you get married, you know, obviously then now your time gets cut into a little bit.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like on a Wednesday when or on a Tuesday when he's got to leave to go to these tournaments,
Right.
his wife's like, "You forgot to take the trash out on your way."
Can you drop Jimmy off?
I'm being sarcastic on that, but no, you're right. And he's like, "Oh, don't forget when you get back on Sunday night after you win this tournament,
Yeah.
don't forget we got dinner with the in-laws."
Well, and Joey's got a thing at school Monday morning, and
It is fascinating to
Yeah.
see, but that's what I mean by are we seeing the first, scars? I would say that first nicks here
for first chinks.
of a guy that, like I said, I'm talking about the dominating aspect of it. He's still going to be good. But the guy that shows up on a Thursday and is in first place Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and wins a tournament by 12 strokes.
Well,
Are we seeing the end of that?
and winning 6 tournaments a year and winning big tournaments, and
That's what I mean.
it'll be fascinating.
We might be in the middle of that and don't even recognize it. But it is alarming at the beginning of the year. Now, last year he struggled at the beginning of the year, but that's because he was rolling some pizza dough with a
Yeah.
wine glass and
Cut his
shattered
finger.
it and everything. But, it's fascinating to see. But he's struggling out there, folks.
And the thing about golf, it can come and go. You and I have talked a little bit. Max Homa, 2.5 years ago, was on top of the world.
Untouchable.
He was on the Ryder Cup team. He was flying not first class, flying privately.
Yeah, and he was coming here and beating guys on a Monday morning over
Yeah.
here at the golf course, Papago, in
Yeah.
order to get there, So
And then he's trying to battle back, and
he's playing well though. He has good days, but then he has those bad days that follow it up. He's like us, Dale, right? Where I played really good this day and not the other day as well. So players going on right now. The interesting thing about this is big name guys aren't at the top of this leaderboard at all. Now that's not 100% the case, but Rory's not up in there. Xander Schauffele's up there and everything. But you got Lee Hodges, Smotherman, Alex Smalley, Cameron Young, Maverick McNeely, Patrick Rogers, Keith Mitchell. Stop me when we get to a big name here, Dale. Obviously, Cam Young is.
Well, and Jordan Spieth that tied for 9th.
With Thagala.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's big name guys are not playing well, at least now it was really windy yesterday. The rains rolled in. I don't know what the weather's going to be today, but we might see some. This is a high-level tournament. Yesterday, Dale, after you left here, Bruce, you're creepy there looking in the door like that. But yesterday, I talked about this where the PGA Tour, I think the PGA Tour is making a move to make these types of tournaments bigger than the majors. I think the PGA Tour is going to make a run at the majors to the point. They're not going to diminish the majors per se, but this tournament pays more than any major does.
They've always liked this akin to the 5th major.
But they're going to make a run on 3 or 4 other tournaments this year and try to make them bigger pay wise.
Well, they do the signature events
and stuff like that. So not that the majors are going to go away, but they don't run the majors. They're going to have like 4 what they're going to call their majors, and they're making a run at it. And they're not been vocal. They haven't been quiet about it.
And we'll see. They're paying $25 million. Well, you're not seeing the 4 majors payouts this year.
But this year it could change now that this is more. But this pays more than they have in last year and years past. Yeah, this is the highest grossing, highest one there out there as of right now. So let's take a break here on the first half.
Boy, oh boy, can't wait to talk to our next guest host. A lot of stuff happens this last a week ago Tuesday.
Suns on a back-to-back tonight on top of it.
How about Bruce saying, I ain't coming in on Tuesday because the stuff ain't going to happen till later in the week. I want to come in and take my lumps on Friday.
I want all the bad things that I wanted to happen to not happen before I come in. Come on back, folks. Second hour main event coming up next. And we're back here, second hour. On Friday this week, he just didn't want to come in. He was so depressed about the Cardinals' moves on Tuesday. He didn't want to come in. So he's here on Friday. Bruce Cooper, local legend, 34-year Channel 12
I've got to point this out because as I'm looking at the screen, Bruce, you make Big Steve look small. That white jersey.
I know, and he's taller than I am right now.
Look at that.
I'm going to do this for you.
Look at that.
There we go. Yeah, that's a bright white jersey there as well. It gives me you give me some color, Bruce.
All right.
I don't look as white.
Well, let me tell you guys this. I've seen enough of Monty Austin
Yeah.
I
was going to
I
say,
really, truly have.
you're coming in on a Friday. We always appreciate you coming in, whether you're right or wrong, or close to right. But you lead us here. Where's the first topic?
I think Monty Austin-Ford has failed the Cardinals and their fan base.
Really?
I really do. I mean, it's already been well documented before this new league year started that he's yet to produce a single Pro Bowler relative to the draft or free agency, or even trade for that matter.
Yeah.
And then I look at what just took place, what's taking place right now in this current free agency period. Hey, you heard that old saying, you don't quit your job unless you have another one?
Yeah.
Well, you don't get rid of a franchise-type quarterback unless you have another one already in place.
Well, they did.
No, Gardner Minshew, right?
Well, there's the backup, but obviously they liked Brissett.
Hey, let me tell you something. Brissett, there's another old saying. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. I mean, we've had 11 years of Jacoby Brissett. 4 different stops as a starter.
Keep talking.
He has proven who he is. He was 1-11. I mean, he was 1-11 as a replacement to Kyler Murray. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Cardinals were 2-3 with Murray, but I look at 2 games in which the Cardinals should have won, the 49ers and the Tennessee Titans. They'd be 4-1. Maybe Jonathan Gannon is still here if Monty Austin-Ford had done a better job of putting playmakers around Kyler Murray. And that's my biggest problem.
Right.
Is his lack of placing playmakers around Kyler. He's the type of guy to come in and say, hey, Kyler, here's that cape. Go put it on. Let's go win it. Come on, man.
But nobody could anticipate Kyler Murray taking a snap off his face and hurting his foot. Come on.
Well,
nobody had that in the cards.
Hey, that's beside the point. The point is you have to recognize talent. And look, the numbers scream it. The numbers scream it. I know a lot of people like to talk about Kyler was here for 7 years. Well, but he only played 5 years. Do the math. 87 career games. 17 times 5 is 85. So he played 87 career games. He played 5 years. Right. In 5 years, he had 153 touchdowns he was responsible for, 121 passing, 32 rushing. That's 30 touchdowns a year. Now, you give this guy some better playmakers, like he had the year when he had, again, I've talked about this before. Yeah, D-Hop, Christian Kirk, A.J. Green, Chase Edmonds, Zach Ertz, and James Conner. All right, that was his offense. They were 7-0, 10-2. D-Hop goes down, they don't win another game. I mean, they finished 1-5.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happened in the offseason. They let Christian Kirk get away in free agency. They let Chase Edmonds get away in free agency. And they already knew that D-Hop was going to be suspended for the first 6 games because of PED use. So all of a sudden now, you don't have the same type of playmakers or talent around Kyler Murray. And then Murray, by midseason, suffers an ACL. I mean, an injury. It reminds me of the 98 Cardinals. They came here in 88, finally made the playoffs. Chris Jackie, field goal at Sun Devil Stadium. The fans stormed the field. Cardinals' first playoff game against Dale Hellestrate's Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, 98.
Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin. They beat the triplets, and then they went to Minnesota the next year. I mean, the Cardinal, I'm traveling with them both times. Matter of fact, I have Channel 12 personnel calling me, Coop, do you know what time the Cardinals are landing? There's a big scene at the airport right now. As a matter of fact, I would later come back to in Arizona because I stayed in Dallas overnight. Come back, I look at all the footage. Do you know that the Cardinals had to set up an impromptu stage on the executive terminal because the fans just overtook Sky Harbor, and the Cardinals did an impromptu press conference on the tarmac because that's how zany and crazy the fans were.
How popular they were.
Yeah, I went to Minnesota the following week. There's Mark Curtis, Sean McLaughlin, and myself. We're all in Minnesota. Matter of fact, Sean was our weather guy at the time.
I was going to say, he was weather back then.
He teed me off. You know why? Because, Mark started off the newscast inside the hotel lobby with a fireplace. Well, Sean is snowing. He wants to do weather outside, so they moved the set outside. And it's too short of a turnaround for her to get back inside because sports comes on after weather. I have to do my sports out in the freaking snow. But I'm telling you, it was an inclement situation. Do you know what happened in the offseason? Cardinals started losing all their choice free agents.
Yeah.
I mean, Lomas Brown. I mean, Jameer Miller. It just didn't matter.
Right.
And so the Cardinals did the same darn thing here in 2022 after their 2021 playoff run. It just doesn't make sense. They can't build up on any darn thing. It's so frustrating to be a fan.
But how do you build up on a team that won 3 games last year?
Well, here's the deal. What you have to do is and again, that's Ossenfort's problem. No playmaker. What you have to do is you have to identify who your core players are. Yeah. At this point, my core player is my quarterback, Kyler Murray. He's one of my core players. I'm not getting rid of Kyler Murray. Look, the numbers scream production. If you have been here like I have and you followed this team with quarterbacks like Derek Anderson, John Navarre, John Skelton, Kevin Cobb, I mean, please stop it. I mean, Sean King, I have seen enough. I've seen the Cardinals go after old washed up quarterbacks, hoping to get lightning in a bottle like Jim McMahon, Boomer Esiason. Stop it. Stop it. Their best 2 quarterbacks from a production standpoint, Kurt Warner, Carson Palmer.
Right.
I mean, when I have a guy that's averaged 30 touchdowns in 5 years, I just said, okay, I need to do a better job of putting people around him. I'm not going to Jacoby Brissett. I'm not going to Gardner Minshew. I mean, and then here's the deal. So there's now here's the latest narrative. Well, the 2027 quarterback class looks really good. They're showing like 5 different franchise quarterbacks. Hey, man, come on, people. How many times do we see drafts in which, I mean, look, you can go down the line.
Oh, yeah.
We saw people like Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson. I mean, all these guys. Look, are you satisfied with just drafting a quarterback, a player that has QB at the end of his name? That's what it seems like to me.
Well, and guess what? If you're looking for next year, if you are, and say Arch Manning becomes all that in a bag of nuts, just assume that, and assume's a dangerous word. Say he does.
He hadn't impressed me that much.
But say he does.
Okay.
The New York Jets have 3 first-round picks next year. Yeah. They have a big. You ain't getting him.
Yeah, and how many times do we see this? There's like 5 projected franchise quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Well, by the time we get around to draft in April of 2027, that number will be down to 2.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. It's just so frustrating to me. And now I'm looking at and now this really frustrates the absolute heck out of me. Here's Monty Ossenfort. He goes and he re-signs the venerable James Conner, who's coming off an injury. And then he
restructured it. Yeah.
And then he goes and he signs Tyler Algier from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, those are 2 backs of the same dynamics. I mean, they are power backs, short yardage, goal line backs. Though I'll tell you this, Algier is a much better receiver out of the backfield than Conner is, and he's younger. I don't need 2 power backs.
Algier will also run it outside off
the
tackle, whereas Conner's more of a between the tackles.
He can bounce it outside, but here's the problem. And so the Cardinals, they're bringing back Trey Benson. They re-signed Bam Knight, and so you think, man, I guess their running back room is solid. They still lack. Because they got rid of DeMarcado. He was the closest thing they had to burst.
Right.
Explosion, speed, house call. You need a player like that. The Cardinals could potentially have a guy like that in Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
3rd overall pick. And the way their roster's shaping up, it looks like, and even they're signing a bunch of offensive linemen too, old guys, Matt Pryor, Elijah Wilkins, those kind. It's almost like, okay, let me look. It looks like maybe they are looking defense again. And David Bailey, I think he'll probably wind up going second to the Jets. So then that leaves like Arvell Reese, Reuben Bank. Really? Really? I mean, come on. They spent a lot of money on Josh Sweat last year. That Sweat was their leading sack guy. I mean, a good deal. But at the end of the day, the Cardinal fan base is not going to get excited over an offensive lineman first overall. They're not going to get excited over Arvell Reese or a Reuben Bain, but a guy like Love who can inject some juice into your offense. He's not only a pristine running back. He's a terrific receiver out of the backfield, much in the same vein as a Christian McCaffrey or a Bijan Robinson. Come on, man. You got a dual threat guy in the backfield. That's why I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated.
Well, let me change the perspective. Or what I think they are doing is they noticed, and we all saw it last year. I think you even admit this. Jacoby Brissett's a pocket quarterback. Gardner Minshew can run, but he's older. He prefers to throw from the pocket as well. If you give him time to throw the football, he's going to have success.
Steve, there are too many elite pass rushers in this league. Just because you go and draft and build an offensive line doesn't mean that you're not going to give up pressure. I mean,
okay, but
look, you can have they had Nate Newton.
I'm gonna let the offensive lineman come into this.
It's changed. It's definitely changed over the years.
They can look.
Okay, let me change this up. Seattle Seahawks offensive strength was what?
Probably
their offensive line was really good.
I'll say their running game. Let me tell you
why was their running game good? The offensive line.
The
Rams have a really good offensive line.
Let me tell you
49ers, good offensive line.
Let me tell you something. First of all, running backs can make their line look better than they are.
They can.
I saw that with Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
You know, I told the story before, but Buddy Ryan's was the agent to an offensive lineman. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Signed a big signing bonus. He's Cardinals starting left tackle. Cardinals were trash, and this guy was trash.
Yeah.
He leaves, goes to the Lions. It's the year Barry Sanders rushed for 2,000 yards. Now, the same guy that was garbage in Arizona on their line, all of a sudden he's part of a line that's giving 2,000 yards for Barry Sanders. How many times have you seen Barry Sanders elude people in the backfield?
I think it was all offensive line, Coop.
Oh yeah, right. But to that point, Seattle, I don't even think they had a single offensive lineman that was a first-round pick.
But they played as a team. And
okay. So your point is you don't have to draft an offensive lineman in the first round to have a team.
I'm also saying don't draft an offensive lineman number 3, but that's what they're going to end up.
I really believe it. I believe that, or it's going to be.
I
really believe it's going to be a defensive lineman now, based on what I'm seeing.
It could be either one, but I think they're leaning towards that. That Miami, they got to get a big tackle in here on the
If you're talking about Detroit,
Francis Mauga can get beat to the backfield just like Josh Fryer can.
Hey, you talked about Detroit and no first round picks. The Cowboys, that line of the 90s, the highest pick ended up being Larry Allen, who's a second round pick. And everybody else was third rounds or free agents.
Right. And I remember the Hogs with Joe Bugle in Washington. I mean, it was nothing but late rounder free agents. I don't need to go. I mean, I don't know why people get so enamored with this. I'd rather take a skill positioned player. Those are the people who stand out. Those are the people who make plays when games are on the line. That's why I know Kyler should be successful in Minnesota. I have seen like Kirk Cousins and they just throw the ball up. Just when you think that the Vikings are going to lose a game, they throw the ball up, and somehow, some way, Justin Jefferson has come down with that ball. It's a first down. They wind up getting a touchdown, and they win the game. You need playmakers.
Let me, for sake of argument, let me throw this at you. About Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
All right, so you got LaFleur in here.
Mm-hmm.
Came from where?
The Rams. Recently.
Well, what was the Rams' offense? It was a 38-year-old quarterback,
play action,
and drop back.
But now let's look at now with the same quarterback that was in Detroit, who couldn't win a damn thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you put him in Los Angeles with what playmakers? What Puka Nacua,
Yeah.
Devontae Adams.
Hold on, though. But nobody thought Puka was going to be what he is.
That's
coaching, and that's the offense.
Hey, let me tell you something. That's beside the point. No one thought Amon-Ra St. Brown would be who he is. He was like a third round.
He
pick.
was a high. He
was like a
hyped
third
up
round.
guy,
No. Look.
Hey, man,
But I'm telling you, playmakers make a difference. That's why Jared Goff. The Rams got rid of Jared Goff because they thought he was garbage. They put him in Detroit. Detroit has Jahmyr Gibbs, David Robinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. I mean, those guys, and all of a sudden, they are Super Bowl contenders, man.
Well, what's so fascinating, you look at that trade.
It's worked out for both
teams. And it worked out for both teams, didn't it?
It really did. It really did. And it worked out for both teams because Detroit had a GM that was starting to accumulate these playmakers. And then when Stafford went to L.A., they had playmakers like Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Todd Gurley. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. They win a Super Bowl. Matter of fact, some dude named Cooper Kupp was offensive league MVP, and he was Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
Playmakers do make quarterbacks better.
Yeah, but Cooper Kupp's not a guy that you looked at and you're like a superstar. But this is my point, though.
It's okay.
An offensive line that gives you enough time for the offense to develop with LaFleur's offense that he's bringing in here, and you have time. That whole left side with Paris and the guy from the Steelers.
Let's see him, Wulu.
Yeah, that left side, you don't have to worry about it. They're going to get beat sometime. Every offensive lineman does. So then you got the right side now. But does that give Brissett enough time for the developing and the skill guys they have now to get it? Is it the skill guys you want? No. Is it the skill guys I want? No. But look what they've done with guys in the LaFleur system with McVay and everything to go out there.
And the one thing that we haven't said anything yet, the staff was new in Detroit because loudmouth there, big boy.
We're eating kneecaps.
Campbell.
Yeah, he's been there, 3 years,
Dan
maybe
Campbell.
4?
Yeah,
okay. So obviously they built that up. In Los Angeles, you got arguably the best coach.
Sean McVay.
Yeah. And how many times do you see a player that brings in a staff that can make players that are B players and turn them into A- players?
It can happen. We saw it in Chicago. Eberflus is out. You bring in Ben Johnson. Now Ben Johnson goes to Caleb Williams and says, "Hey Caleb, look, I have this offensive system, but hey, look, I want to know what your best plays are. What routes, what things do you like to do?" And he incorporated that in his system, in his offense system. And all of a sudden, Caleb Williams playing like he did when he was at Oklahoma, playing like he did when he was at USC. It does make a difference.
That's all I'm saying. Am I enamored by the guys they've signed? No.
You had Drew Petzing, who came in behind Cliff Kingsbury. Now, Kingsbury with Kyler. With Kingsbury, Kyler's Rookie of the Year and 2-time Pro Bowler. They've had some real big production. You bring in Drew Petzing. He says, "Here's my offensive system."
Yes.
And it's tailored to a straight drop back. Now, Kyler's plays outside the pocket, purely ad lib, purely ones that he create. Whereas
they wanted him to knock that off under pending system.
Whereas in Chicago with Caleb Williams, they had designed rollouts, and so that's a big difference. He's going to go to Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell's going to do the same thing. What are your strengths? Let's put some plays to what I like to do, and we'll make this thing.
And I'll go one step further. I bet you Kevin O'Connell already knows what he likes.
Sure, and he's going to design it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I look back on the Cardinals, all the quarterbacks you listed earlier. The two that had a lot of success are Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer. What did they do differently than they normally? Normally they throw a quarterback out there, and this is our system. You don't see the system change. The system was changed for Carson Palmer. The system was changed for Kurt Warner's strengths.
No, here's the deal.
That was the difference.
Here's the deal. With Kurt Warner was a savvy veteran, and you had a snotty nose, and I'm just saying that because he was young, Matt Leinart. Okay? Now, let's look at the playmakers that Leinart checked down to that Kurt Warner's looking at. Larry Fitzgerald, Anquan Bolden, Edgerrin James. Hey, man, two of the three are Pro Bowlers. I mean, are Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
I think Q should be one. It's a huge difference.
Right.
Huge. Now let's go to Carson.
No, I get that, but what did they do though? Matt Leinart was checking the ball down, throwing those underneath. Kurt Warner, and all of a sudden we're throwing deep. We're throwing deep and stuff to that effect. That's an offensive change.
No. It was the experience of the guy behind center. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
I understand that.
And so that's not an issue in Arizona. They have, with the Cardinals this time, they have quarterbacks who are experienced behind center, be it Jacoby Brissett, be it Kyler Murray, be it Gardner Minshew. That's not an issue. Now the big issue is how can I best, exploit or make my offense the best it can be. Well, let me give my best quarterback a dynamic runner, a guy who we've already shown. We already know this for a fact. Only two quarterbacks in the history of the NFL has done what Kyler's done his first 5 years in the league. Throw over 100 passes, run for over 30 touchdowns. That'd be Josh Allen and Cam Newton. I didn't make that stat up. I read it.
No, that is true. I saw that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So already I know I have some dynamic there. Why don't I do – now, look, I love what Buffalo's doing. Buffalo, I mean, I think they've kind of failed Josh Allen these last couple of years. They've gone out and they've addressed the wide receiver position. Again, they make the trade and they bring in DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that. In Baltimore, heck, well, they've been trying to draft wide receivers and stuff like that to complement Lamar. Then they go and they said, okay, well, let's make the running game. Let's take some of that running pressure off him and go get probably the biggest bruising running back that you can ever think of in Derrick Henry.
Right.
I mean, name me one player like that the Cardinals have brought in.
But Cardinals aren't going to do that, though. That's my point. Cardinals aren't going to do that.
Well, that's the problem. That's why I'm telling you. I'm so upset with Monty Ossenfort. Let's move on.
I'm so beaten down by the Cardinals. Here's what the Cardinals did different this year that they haven't done before.
Okay, I'm all
First day of free agency, they addressed positions they had open on the first day of free agency, whether you like it, whether you consider these good signings or not. Right? They went out and got Siamalu. They got Algier. They got Minshew on that day. Kendrick Bourne as well. They got on that. Cardinals normally sit back at the beginning of free agency and go, all right, we'll just get the scraps afterwards. Regardless if they signed the guys or not, they were more aggressive than they have been before.
I remember day one a couple years ago, they signed Bilal Nichols. They signed Justin Jones. Yes. I mean, I'm talking about guys on the first day. Yes. And they've Dalvin Tomlinson.
Injuries.
They've been bust. Everything they have done, free agency, everything they've done, trade,
his free agency's been horrible.
They've done draft, a colossal bust.
Yeah. So that comes down to
him.
It comes to player acquisition and evaluation.
Absolutely.
And then it also comes down to, tell me this, do you have more confidence in LaFleur than you had in Petsing?
Absolutely. Make no mistake about it.
Because we all think we know what's going to happen. We all think that Kyler Murray's going to go to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Got a hell of an organization.
Sure.
Got a great head coach, and he's going to revert back to Pro Bowl.
Great
Kyler Murray.
organization as a whole.
I do believe that.
And so maybe with the new coach, with the new offense, with things like that, maybe some of these guys can. Maybe unlocks Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know.
If this was Jonathan Gannon, I would be on your negative bandwagon.
I'm not going to blame Jonathan Gannon, Monty Ossenfort, or Drew Petzing for Marvin Harrison Jr.'s fallacies. You're a professional player. The ball hits you in the hand. Catch the damn ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that simple. I don't know what his problem was, but I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty close to cutting the cord on him.
No, this is year 3. Really, this is the year you decide.
Well,
he's shown me consistently in years 1 and 2 that he doesn't catch the ball consistently.
But see, you hope to see that jump into, okay, guess what? I'm not running against the cornerback from Northwestern.
Dale.
I'm not running against the cornerback from Rutgers.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
I don't spend the 4th overall pick in the first round to watch somebody make a jump. Hell, they should already be at that jump level you're trying to talk about. They should be
but
at.
I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to blame Monty for him at number 4 because everybody and their dogs had him at that spot.
That I just said. I'm not. I don't blame them for that.
That's on the player side. But my bigger issue here is the way I'm looking at the Cardinals right now. If I sit back and look at it, not as a fan or somebody invested in the team, I'm looking at it as this team has improved on the offensive side.
How?
I just explained it to you.
Dude,
but listen,
come on.
Listen to me.
You're naming me guys that.
I'm sorry. Allgaier's better than DeMarcado. Jeez Louise, Coop. What's he ever done in his life?
No. DeMarcado brings something that
So does
Algier
Algier.
doesn't.
Oh, okay.
And I don't. And here's the deal.
Toughness? He doesn't bring
I
toughness?
don't mind having Algier and DeMarcado on the same roster. I don't.
I would have rather have had DeMarcado than Bam Knight. I'll tell you that.
Well, let's put it to you like this. I again, before we came on air, I told you in DeMarcado's 2-3 year career with the Cardinals, he's had about 4 or 5 70 plus touchdown runs.
Great.
One didn't count. Now, in Trey Benson's 2 years, he hadn't even had a 20-yard run.
I think Trey Benson's the
had
guy on the outside.
Well, here's the deal, and this is what I look at. Monty Ossenfort, that was his draft pick, a 3rd-round pick, and it's like, damn, I'm gonna keep running this guy. Dude, he sucks. He's not that guy.
Well,
admit it, cut bait and move on.
All my point is I'm seeing LaFleur come in here with what he's signing and what they're focused. We're seeing what they're focusing on. Yes, they're not the skill players we all want them to have, but they're coming in here and they're sending the clear message. Running game's going to be big. Our offensive line's going to be improved to help the quarterbacks out. They have a bona fide third receiver on this team now in Bourne. Bourne can step in and be that third receiver. Now you need Marv to step up. They're building a team on the offensive side, and they're telling you what the thing is. They're going to come in here with a Rams type of an offense. Now can you pull it off is another side of it, is the question. If this was Gannon making these moves, I'm throwing my hands up like you are and throwing my – but you've got to, at this point, you've got to look at it and say LaFleur is showing us what his offense wants to be. Now they're going to have to improve, guys, as they go on. Don't trust me. These aren't the guys that they have their heart set on. They're working within the system the Cardinals can work in, but they're telling you what this offensive system's going to be right now. It's going to be hard-nosed. By resetting Bam Knight and not DeMarcado, you got physicality at the running game. We don't know how James Conner's coming back, but we know he's a physical running back.
But he's the same dude as Algier. You got 2 guys in one, yet you still lack burst.
We know Bam Knight is a physical running back. Physicality is what he's looking for right now. And then your receivers, you're going to open up that receiving game with 4%, like the Rams do with these low-end guys.
Steve, you would make a horrible GM, just like Ossenfort. Why do you need 2-3 guys that are the same dude?
Hey, let's get back to this. Let's get back to this. Don't you think that LaFleur had to sign off on the quarterback move?
Yes.
Don't you think when he decided to take the job that he said, I'm comfortable with Brissett?
Well, how do you know it went like that?
I'm wondering.
How do you know that it didn't go like, hey, we're moving on from Kyler.
Yeah.
Are you okay with Brissett?
Right.
I mean, you don't, because clearly the disconnect was between Ossenfort and Kyler, and not Jonathan Gannon and Kyler, and not Drew Pesci and Kyler.
I've said that on air several times.
Right.
Ossenfort and Murray was the issue.
It's unquestionably that way.
Okay.
And so my problem is okay, Ossenfort, what's your game plan? Okay. And then when you see that, and I've seen a lot of naysayers already. Were the Cardinals ever a player for Malik Willis? At least Malik Willis was a dual threat guy. Now, look, I'll admit this. He doesn't even have the resume that Kyler has.
Right.
He was a flop in Tennessee,
and
he has like a 5 or 6 game sample in Green Bay in which he stood out. Yeah. Now we've seen other people have short samples, right? We've seen other guys have short samples that got them big money that were flops.
And sometimes here.
My thing on Willis is usually when a guy signs someplace, you hear the rumors of this is what the Cardinals were talking and offering about another team. You've heard none of that. I firmly
Yeah.
believe Malik Willis has always eyed the Dolphins. Once Hadley went there, he was always going to the Dolphins, and the Cardinals had no say in it, so they had to go on it. The thing that worries me the most is they did go after Jimmy G and hit a snag, is what's being reported. And from there, and they couldn't get Jimmy G. That's alarming to me, because how do you not pull Jimmy G over unless you just flat out told him come be our backup because Brissett's our guy.
No, they would have told him to come and compete for the starting job.
But that's what worries me a little bit on that. I'm just saying, Coop, is if you want to look at it as an optimistic, I'm not saying these are the right moves, and I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl this year or make it to the playoffs.
Be honest with you,
They're building a physical
I'm
team.
okay with Isaac Ciamulo. I've watched him play. He's a physical guard who
And he's
who
playing
really
next to
stands out.
Paris Johnson now.
Well, let me tell
That's
you
going to
something.
make Paris's job a lot easier.
Well, Evan Brown didn't do too badly the year before.
but this is a
you know.
step up from Evan Brown.
Yeah. But, you know, again, Jacoby Brissett is a good quarterback, okay, but he's not a franchise quarterback.
No doubt about it.
Not even close.
No doubt
And
about
so now I'm asking Cardinals, is your game plan really? Because look, I think the Cardinals could be a team that could win 7, 8, maybe 9 games if they're lucky.
This year?
Yeah.
Not over
Really?
the next 2 years?
And you're questioning Mike talk
No,
right here?
I'm saying. I said. Did you hear what I said? If they're lucky.
Yeah.
You guys got to catch that.
Right.
If they're lucky. But at the end of the day, now if they're lucky and do that, Dale, are they in the Arch Manning sweepstakes?
No.
Are they in any franchise?
No.
And that's my whole point.
Right.
They don't have a game plan. They don't, and the quarterback position is the most important position on the field. That's why I'm saying, don't quit your job unless you have another one. Don't get rid of a potential franchise until I'm positioned to get another one. That's all I'm saying.
It's like these two years, if you need a quarterback, are the 2 worst years to need a quarterback.
And that's why I don't get rid of them.
You know?
Exactly. No, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Why don't get rid of them?
All right, Coop, but there's got to be some. I guess we're almost to the bottom of the hour, but can we flip the switch a little bit and talk about something positive?
Well, really quick, because how does this change the Cardinals draft? Because you said you agree they're not going with the skill position at the beginning. You're thinking defensive line or an offensive tackle, probably at that point. Is that what you still see?
It would be a colossal mistake. Yeah, I would still go with Jeremiah Love. I can always still hope. I can always still hope and pray.
Yeah, you're still on that Kyler bandwagon.
I'm telling you. I told you guys this. I was at home on a Sunday afternoon. I got my split screens going. I got 2 screens going. I'm watching the Cardinals somehow blow a game with Tennessee that goes to overtime.
Yeah.
I'm watching Detroit put on a great rally, and now their game goes to overtime. Detroit, one play, Jahmyr Gibbs, 71-yard house call. Lions, they're winners. And
I just figured out what Coop's problem is.
Now I'm watching the Cardinals, and 2 running plays, get 3 yards, incomplete pass. They punt. Tennessee goes down, kicks the game-winning field goal, another walk-off loss. Now, I'm just telling you, the Cardinals are devoid of that. And then I hate to jump around, but then I'm at the Cardinals' final home game against the Atlanta Falcons. Some dude named Bijan Robinson. The play is designed to go one way. He stops, reverses, goes the other way, like 35-yard gain. Right. Do we have anybody like that on the Cardinals roster? That's my whole point.
I think I realize what Coop's problem is. After 34 years of covering this team here with Channel 12, and then how many years in retirement now? So we're pushing
5.
almost 40 years now on the Cardinals. And you still think that this team's going to operate like every other good team out there in the league.
I'm just frustrated as heck.
That's
I
your
really
problem.
am. I'm just frustrated.
Some of us have
It
realized the
drives me
Cardinals are
frickin'
going
crazy.
to operate on a budget. They shop at Ross. They shop at TJ Maxx when everybody else is at Nordstrom.
But let me tell you, you're going to have to pay the number 3 pick the same money regardless of the position.
Oh, trust me. I'm on your bandwagon. I just know it's coming.
Why don't you do the Macy's thing then and pick that damn guy?
Go out of business?
Because history has shown you were in this position in 2007. but you went with Levi Brown and let Adrian Peterson go. History shows this 2 years ago, you were in this position. You not only traded down and let Will Anderson go, but I was fine with that because the guy I wanted the whole time was Bijan Robinson. They didn't do that. And let me tell you something. If you look at the postseason awards, Bijan Robinson was all-pro, led the entire league in not only rushing yards, but yards from scrimmage. Will Anderson, on the defensive side, all-pro. Paris Johnson, not even a Pro Bowl. I'm just saying. I mean, that's what I have watched.
But
I get so damn frustrated because we were in position both times to take playmaking difference makers, guys who make a difference on the football field, who can make plays themselves.
I've come to your way of thinking as far as the playmakers, okay, over linemen, because you can find if you have a good scouting around, you can find good offensive linemen in the second round and the third round. Now, here's the thing that just puts the frosting on the cake for me. Here you got the Cardinals. Struggle to put together a talented team. And then you look at their division. Their division, you say Seattle might have lost a couple pieces. They might come back and so instead of winning 14 games or whatever, they only win 11 games.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Because we were saying the same thing about the 49ers with all their injuries and stuff.
Yeah, and Mike Evans says, I'm the missing piece.
Dude, did you see that?
Him and Brock Purdy, my goodness.
Oh man, you know what? And see, that's what's probably. See, I think that's probably what really got me boiling. I see a team like the 49ers. You know, they add Mike Evans to Brock Purdy's tray of receivers. I'm like, my God.
Look around the whole division, and this is why I kind of gave you a hard time about. You're expecting all this from the Cardinals. They've never operated this way. But you look at the Seahawks lost Kobe Bryant. They were willing to let him go, one of the best safeties, back guys in the league. They were willing to let him go because they had a guy they drafted that played pretty dang well this year, and they're comfortable with him taking over that spot now. Then you got the 49ers who just luck into Brock Purdy after making a horrible quarterback decision with Trey Lance. And then now, they go into this Ayuk situation, and what do? One of the best receivers in the league just goes, I'm going to go to San Francisco for no reason.
I'm telling you.
And then, you got the Rams who are just signing guys left and right, and Puka from the 14,000th round, and all of a sudden he's an all-pro out there. Can't even afford to live in L.A. He has to rent an apartment because he can't afford a house, all of that. And then the Cardinals are just operating this own little world of, we're instead of emulating the teams in their division, Cardinals are like, you know what? We're going to emulate Jacksonville.
Steve, you're just depressed. You're just depressing me more and more.
But that's the problem. Biggest problem the Cardinals have is you look around the division and there are teams in their division, Bruce, just do things that are inexplicable and shouldn't happen in the world of sports. And the Cardinals are actually trying to do it the right way, and it just fails left and right with who they. Monty Osborne has been hurt with his free agents because of injuries. You cannot. Jonah Williams came here as one of the healthiest linemen in all time. Dude couldn't stay on the field because he was hurt all the time. Then he drafts these two superstar linemen that are going to be great. You saw it with Walter Nolan. Injuries galore on that side. For the love of God, fix the injuries, man. It's so frustrating.
Well, let me tell you something. You just listed all those injuries, and I don't think any team suffered more injuries than the 49ers.
I know.
And they won.
I'm not saying they didn't.
And their highest paid wide receiver didn't play a snap for them.
And so I'm not buying Steve.
I'm not blaming the injuries. What I'm saying is, that to me was on the coaching staff. The coaching staff didn't know what to do with the injuries, and they kind of were like, we're just going to lose. LaFleur gives me a little bit more hope that he actually – did you guys notice? I don't remember his name. Cardinals have hired a couple consultants already for this team. They never did that with Jonathan Gannon.
Who?
I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember who it was. But they hired a guy to come in and help the defense out and stuff to that. And it's like, wait, what? Where was that at the last couple years with Gannon and those guys?
Well, to that end, and there's another reason why the Cardinals have failed a quarterback like Kyler Murray. His two head coaches in the National Football League were first-year or first-time head coaches. And just what Steve said, they didn't do like Bruce Arians, who was like 90 when he got his first.
No help at all.
He brought in 200-year-old Tom Moore.
Yeah.
We don't see this young, wet behind the ears, Similac on their breath head coaches, bringing in veteran, experienced consultants
Right.
who can help elevate the experience and knowledge and teachings of some young guy like Kyler.
Yeah. Austin came from the Steelers. Defensive guy. Terrell Austin they brought in.
Oh, well,
to help out the defense.
Well, he used to be on the Cardinals staff, I
That's
believe,
my
with
point.
BA. With BA, yeah.
But he's coming in as a consultant
Yeah.
to help out the defense and help out that side. Where was this from the coaching staff in the past?
Where has it? Look, look. Maybe Michael's listening because again, he's brought in a third straight coach whose first ever head coaching job is with the Cardinals.
But this is the first one where you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe this time he's listening and saying, "Hey, I've been criticized before by not bringing any experienced people in to help my young, wet behind the ears."
But even then,
head
this
coaches,
is the
but I'm gonna
first
change
one.
this year.
This is the first one he's hired where you feel like he deserves to have the head coaching spot. Jonathan Gannon, the Eagles fans were like, "Get this bum out of
Oh
here."
yeah, you're right.
And then you hire Cliff Kingsbury. This is the first time he's done
you're
it
right.
where you go,
You're right.
it might be a year early for him to be hired, but this is the guy that is next in line.
you're absolutely
Whereas
right.
the last two, they were not next in line.
No,
and
no.
they reached for him and it didn't work out. So that's the difference from that. Let's take our break here, come back, because we got Suns, D-backs, Corbin
Sun
Carroll,
Devils.
DHing.
Let me see if
Arizona
I can
Wildcats.
let me see if I can get my mood back.
I know. A little tense in here right now. Come on back, folks. Main event with this guy, Bruce Cooper. Yeah, no, I mean I'm not saying we're just talking here on the Cardinals thing, but I'm not saying that they're making the moves you want them to make. What I'm saying is they're making quality moves, which the Cardinals don't always do, is my argument here. Is it going to work out? I don't know. They could go 2 and whatever this year. I don't know what's going to happen. But at least now, if Jonathan Gannon was making these moves, we'd be up in arms about it. We would, because they're like, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. Yeah. Robert says, when is Coop running for office?
It's
He loves
kind of
to
interesting
talk.
that you clean house, but you keep the guy who's made the personnel decisions.
I just wonder with these moves too. These are different style. I'm getting the impression, with no basis behind it, they're listening to LaFleur and what he wants this offense.
Well, I hope they are, because again,
this is different than what they've done in the past.
Again, I have zero problems with any of the 3 offensive linemen that they have signed to date. Siamulu at left tackle, like you said, next to Paris Johnson. Now you got a couple. You're bringing back Elijah Wilkinson, who's one of those swing linemen who can play guard and tackle. Same thing with Matt Pryor.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're talking about guys that are like, what, 6'6", 6'7", 330. I mean, they're big boys.
They're big guys.
And they're experienced. I mean, they can know line calls and see things. And
They're going to step in and have more experience than anybody you're drafting.
So I don't have a problem with that. But I'm telling you, it still goes back to their underwhelming plan at quarterback.
No, I don't disagree. That's why I say, well, Dale, I've been saying it since Monday. Take out the quarterback start of this, and I like what the Cardinals have done because it's showing their thing. Okay. But then you add the quarterback in, and you're like, what are you guys doing? And I wasn't a Malik Willis guy. I was actually, go get Kirk Cousins. And I'm still like, go get Kirk Cousins.
Cousins is 90. He's still not a franchise quarterback.
You were there for the Atlanta game. Did he not just command the Falcons up and down the field like it was nothing?
Are you trying to get a franchise quarterback in here? A franchise quarterback means somebody that's in place for the next 5, 10 years.
Are you getting a franchise quarterback with Gardner Minshew?
No.
What's the difference? Kirk Cousins or Gardner Minshew?
Okay, well, as long as you put it like that, as you look at the short term.
Yeah, everything's short term this year. They're not looking at the quarterback position in the future. Haven't they made that clear? They're looking at building this offense around a short-term quarterback. They're not looking at that 10 years from now.
But here's the deal. What sense does that make? That's why you're not giving your fans any hope.
I agree with you on that.
You are trying to say, I'd rather take a step back at quarterback position and now try to build an offense around it when I could have built that thing around at least a
what's
quarterback.
The quickest way to get your fan base on your side? A quarterback that everybody can rally behind. And what did they not do? This is why every other signing looks like garbage because you're prisming it around the quarterback situation and what they've done.
Here's the deal. So what'll happen is whoever the Cardinals draft at quarterback this year,
Ty Simpson, they're going to jump up and get him.
All of a sudden, to me, that quarterback is just a name with the initial QB behind it. It's nothing to get excited about.
No, I agree.
Nothing to get excited about. But that's what they're going to try to sell.
If they get Ty, they're going to have to move up into the first round to get him again. And you don't give up draft capital for that position. They're going to have to because he's going to go late first round.
He's not going to start over Brissett or Minshew. I think Brissett will be the starting quarterback.
My opinion on getting a Ty Simpson in there is that's just like when you drafted all these other guys in there and having. What the local kid that's on the team now is, I just forgot Keelan. You're just like, okay, he's just going to be on the roster and maybe he'll develop, but probably not. And why put yourself through that?
And look, there are people out there that probably don't understand my disdain for what the Cardinals and Monty Ossenfort is doing at the quarterback position. Look, I've said it before. I'm just going to give. Look, Brissett's a good quarterback. He can pitch the ball around the field, hit his receiver, stuff like that.
He can move the ball.
But now the game is on the line. The game's on the line. And we've seen the Cardinals play a lot of games with the game on the line. Game's on the line. And I'm just going to take you again to Denver and the Patriots. It's 3rd and freaking 6. Denver's down 10-7. They're expecting to get the ball back. They got you covered. Drake May used his feet, picked up 7 yards, first down. That's a play Brissett ain't making.
I agree.
It's a play that Kyler would make. So that's why I'm telling you. It just freaking frustrates the actual.
And then it's going to compound itself when you see him lead Minnesota to 11 wins this year.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
I'm so
guaranteed.
Yeah. Robert says, "Isn't 2 and whatever the plan?" I said that on the schedule. Sometimes I question. I question. I'll say this: they're not tanking to where. They're not tanking this year with their free agent signings to where they're going to win 1 or 2 and be in the Arch Manning sweepstakes. They're not planning on doing that.
Yeah,
but then you're in that hell. If you don't get to 8 or 9 wins, then what are you doing?
Let me ask you, what has Arch Manning done at Texas that have really made you say, man, this guy is hit?
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a Cardinals thing that you get the worst Manning ever to come out? Wouldn't that just be a Cardinals thing, Coop?
Just like the Suns always get the worst twin and.
The worst name guy, the same name. Well, Autumn chimes in and says, "I don't know how you boys do it. The amount of times I'd have to ask, why do you hate me? Right? You don't hate me, right? During that conversation is insane." So we're putting out the vibes that we hate each other here, guys, with this conversation.
Not me. I'm just sitting over here minding my own business.
So let's get into something good. Are you watching the WBC?
I am, and let's put it like this: the United States should send over the best Italian wine ever.
Well,
all they have
to do, Coop, is wait for the Italian players to come back and join their Major League Baseball teams again.
Well, look. Let me tell you something. When the USA lost 8-6 to Italy, I said it's over. It's over. I didn't. expect...
hold on. You knew what the seating format was, unlike the manager for the USA baseball.
The manager and the teams.
Well, look. Yeah,
but he misspoke.
Look, I knew that it took the top two teams from each pool to move on.
He's making fun of the manager for not saying he didn't. They thought they clinched after they beat Mexico. Did you know this?
No.
I didn't
hear. No, you kidding?
He went on MLB.
No, stop it.
No. So you didn't hear this. So he went on a Major League Baseball.com show, MLB Central or whatever it's called. And he said, since we clinched against Mexico, the team went out and partied a little too much last night, and a lot of guys are kind of hungover today. Yeah, they thought they clinched after Mexico, so they were throwing that game
serious?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, my God.
DeRosa admitted it. The team admitted they went out and partied too hard after.
I'm sorry. Well, when did they name him manager? They named manager the night before the WBC started?
Yeah. He was the manager last time they were in the WBC, and then they never said he wasn't going to be again. So he's known. He was in it in 23 as well.
Wow.
Or 24.
Wow. Look. Yeah. That's news to me, guys. I mean, look, I didn't know that.
That really happened.
I hope you guys ripped the hell out of this guy.
Yeah.
Well, I went so far yesterday as say this American team doesn't care about winning this. They say they care, but they just don't care.
Dude,
that is
so bad.
That is inexcusable. That not just
really
the
is.
manager, the players, nobody around the USA organization, nobody just happened to go over the format.
Yeah, and say, hey, manager.
It's inexcusable.
Hey, Skip, let's check this out one more time.
The U.S. does not get. The U.S. thought they'd show up to this WBC, just coast through, and then have a big game against Japan in the final that hopefully they can win. They don't care about being there in this. Every other team out there, even the Netherlands, Drew Jones was making catches and stuff in the outfield for the Netherlands, and they were playing. They knew they were being eliminated. They knew they sucked.
Hey, look.
Israel knew they sucked. The Czech Republic knew they'd suck. But they were out there having fun, trying to win games, and then there's the U.S. Oh, we don't know what we're doing.
Hey, tip of the cap to Drew Jones. I mean, he was a high draft pick for the Diamondbacks.
He can't get out of
he can't get out of the yeah. And
single leg.
He's been hurt a lot. But let me tell you something. He played well in the WBC.
He made
really
some
did.
unbelievable catches. He covered that right field area and was making spectacular couches the whole time.
Yeah, and
he can't get out of the California League.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that was a tip of the cap to him for that.
Yeah, so it was amazing. But so this weekend, of course, you've got U.S.-Canada's tonight. I think it's 5 p.m. our time. It could be 4, but check your ratings there. Then, of course, you have to win to keep them going. If they win this game, Dominican win, they face off tomorrow.
It's win or go home.
Yep. Yeah. Well, man, does the U.S. know that is the question.
That's a good one.
I thought it was double elimination.
That's the thing we got to worry about. Wow. I just contend that the U.S. team, I mean, look, the Italy team's full of American and Major League Baseball players. The Mexican team is filled with American, Major League Baseball players and stuff to that. So, I mean, that's good competition. I get it, but it's just inexcusable to not know the format.
That really is. I mean, that falls squarely.
I question if they want to be there.
That falls squarely on the coaching staff. I mean, they have to know that.
There's no doubt about it.
You would think there'd be a player, though, like there'd be a player that would be like, guys, I don't think we clinched today.
No, that's the manager's job.
Hey, that board up there says we didn't clinch, guys, in center field that I'm looking at right now. Oh, we clinched? Okay, let's go with it.
Anyway, all right, so
but Diamondback, I want to talk about Corbin Carroll real quick. Got DH the other day, had some hard hits, but he also said his hand hurts.
If he said that, I didn't know that either.
Well,
then they need to sit his butt because sometimes I admire the guy. He's one of one. In that this guy will not take any time off. He won't shortchange you in anything that he does.
He was hitting with one hand in the batting cage.
You need to protect him from himself.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when you have 2 weeks till the start of the season still. you can let him sit out another week.
If his
and have him
hand
do his
still
stuff on
hurts,
the
you
side.
need to
Yeah.
protect him from
His, let me see if I
himself.
can find his exact quote, because he wore a brace during pregame, but took it off during the actual game and everything. He's using an axe handle because it's less painful to hit the ball as
An
well.
axe handle.
Yeah, so it's not your standard round bottom.
Oh, you're
at the
talking about the
bottom.
bat.
The bat, yeah.
Okay.
And then his hand, he said, quote, doesn't feel perfect, but manageable. What's the harm of keeping him out another week and then he can do the side work and stuff like that. I agree with that. But like you said, he's a warrior. He's back out there and wanting to do what he can do, which is interesting because then you got guys like Ketel Marte.
No doubt. So that's why a manager has to know his players and he has to protect them from themselves, or he has to push.
Maybe Torey Lovullo is just not used to guys wanting to play every day, and he doesn't know how to react to it.
Wait, well,
he's like, what's this? Corbin wants to play. What?
Yeah, like I said, a manager has to know his players. He's got to know which ones to push, which ones to pull back.
The jokes write themselves.
Yeah, I hear you. I get you. I got you 1,000. Got you 1,000.
Merrill Kelly. I'm not Merrill Kelly. Excuse me. Corbin. Not Corbin.
Zach Gallen.
Zach Gallen. First start. Why do they hate Ryan Nelson so much? Why does Torey Lovullo hate Ryan Nelson?
I don't know. Ryan was their best pitcher last year.
Yeah. And he's always being put into the bullpen unless there's an injury. He's going to be consistent this year. Why not give him the start?
And let me tell you something. Is Eduardo Rodriguez showing you in the WBC why you don't even want him on the staff? I mean, dude, he's mad bomb all over again.
He was did not have had a questionable outing the other night.
My God.
Yeah, and it's just like. But I just don't understand why Torey Lovullo and this team just hate Ryan Nelson as much as they do. This is the kid that should be in the starting lineup. This is the kid that's your most consistent pitcher, and the only time you give him a chance is if there's an injury and you have to use him. And then the second the guy that sucks comes back, you relegate him back down again. What are you doing with this kid?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm interested to see. I think Mike Soroka gets to start for Canada tonight. So
I believe so. I haven't seen the official, but they're saying that.
Yeah, and so look,
Diamondbacks pitcher, if you don't know.
He's a guy that Hazen's kind of counting on.
It is official. Webb and Soroka tonight. Yeah, Logan Webb and Soroka.
Yeah, here's a situation where I'm hoping that Soroka does well, but USA wins later. I really
you want him to
am.
get his 4.5 of no hit, and then he goes out, and then they let him up?
I think that's important to help build.
I agree.
Going into the season for the Diamondbacks.
I agree. That's the interesting thing, right? So Diamondbacks talk there. Arizona gets to play again today. They play tonight. None of these morning games for Arizona now. Big 12's changing their court back to a regular basketball court with that failure.
That was weird.
But Arizona, UCF, they were really concerned about that court. They had a lot of upsetness about the court yesterday in the Big 12 and being in the Big 12. If you saw those comments from Tommy Lloyd, they were injured. We didn't ask to be in the Big 12. We were put in the Big 12. And comments like that after yesterday. I'm starting to really question Tommy Lloyd going into this NCAA
what would prompt that?
He's just a miserable SOB. I don't know. No, the court.
That makes no sense.
The court, the officials, all that stuff. Yeah, it was on his mind. But they were focusing. And I get it. The court's an issue. Guys were slipping, injury concerns and stuff like that. But they blew out UCF. And their focus after that was on everything but basketball. That alarms me a little bit.
Well, that LED court,
Stupidest thing
it can. I can see where it could be distracting. I can see where it could throw you off.
It floated, so like when you stepped on it, it had some give. It wasn't a hardwood, so it would move.
Yeah.
And then also the seams were uneven, so if you stepped on like a seam area, one would go lower than the other one, kind of like stepping on a step.
You know far more than I did about that.
The visual side of it's ugly.
It definitely is.
The Big 12, the $1 billion organization.
Look,
the Big 12,
I admire Yormark, Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12, for trying to be innovative, trying to have be a visionary. But sometimes you can do too much. He's doing too much.
Yeah. Right. I agree. It's
I
a
give
big
him credit
misstep.
then for listening to the coaches and the complaints behind the scenes. Good that they didn't come out publicly.
I like how the coaches handled that.
And they change it back to the
Really quick,
regular
Bobby
coach.
Hurley's out. A tough day for you. Kyler Murray is gone. The Cardinals aren't listening to you, and then Bobby Hurley gets not going to be renewed contract here at the end of the year.
It's for the best. It's time to move on. But the question I have is, who's that next guy? And whoever that next guy is, and I do like Graham Rossini because I like.
You think him as coach? I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
I like Graham Rossini in that it seems like he's been able to convince President Crow that you have to be a player in the NIL. You have to be a player in terms of spending money to make money and to change the dynamics of our program in our school. And so
I think he's convinced them that sports can lead to more revenue in your education.
So
I think that's what he's.
Well, whatever it is, whatever he's done, I think he's done a hell of a job because that's not always been the case. And so I even like the resources that are being funneled to the baseball program. Mm-hmm. And so I have no doubts that they will do better than they did for Hurley in terms of giving resources.
Well, they're
to
just
going
to pay more, and then the resources are going to be more.
But that's more than what Bobby was dealing with.
I mean, to me, it's got to be a big name underling coach. And you have some guys out there, right? The St. Mary's coach is from this area. His dad.
Well, look. Let me tell you something. Randy Bennett. Look, I know him.
Yeah, that's why I brought him up.
But believe it or not, Dale. He went to Westwood High School.
Yeah.
So I know Randy Bennett. I know his father, Tom, who was a longtime
MCC
coach.
Right?
At MCC.
For years.
And so, but if you look at it, I'm looking for someone a little younger than 63 years old.
65, 66.
No, he's 63.
What about San Diego head coach, San Diego State's head coach? He'd be a good option. I just forgot his name.
He's 63 years old, though, Coop, and I'm going to tell you.
That's what I'm saying. I just said I'm looking for someone a little younger.
I know, but here's one of my pet peeves.
Look how picky we're being, Dale.
And no, I'm not being picky at all. I'm just saying my damn pet peeves are I am sick and tired of people at ASU going, we need our next coach for 10 years. We need our next this guy for 10 years. Man, you don't want a guy for 10 years. You want a guy for 3 to 4 to 5 years, build a program, and you hope other suitors come. It would have been great if somebody would have wanted Bobby Hurley. That means he's having success.
Oh, that would have been a dream.
You know? And so he's 63. So he coaches 5 years. If he goes to the tournament 3 of the 5, that's a hell of a tenure, don't you think?
I agree.
And B.
Well, here's the other thing. He's a heck of a basketball coach. And to go, I don't want him because he's 63. I want a younger guy that doesn't have his resume and experience.
Unlike Dale, I was looking for someone that was going to be there longer.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
I'm not a guy that I think after 6-7 years, I think you've worn out your welcome. It's time for you to move on. Whether you move on yourself or you get fired. 10, 11 years is too long.
The Sun Devils have some guy in Kenny Dillingham who's so young.
Yeah.
That I look at him as a 10, 15.
Yeah, he's gonna test my 10 year and it's too long theory. Kenny Dillingham's gonna test.
No,
that.
well, but here's the thing about Kenny Dillingham. If in fact they get things right again,
he will.
You're gonna deal with the every 3 years somebody come a calling.
But I'm okay if it's 10 years if you hit a championship game or something like that, or challenge for a championship. Tommy Lloyd at Arizona for 10 years won't bother me because if he makes it to some Final Fours and gets to those levels. What I don't like is like the John Harbaugh's where, he won a Super Bowl early in his career, made it to the Super Bowl early, and then for the last 8 years, it's just been dropping out in the first round of the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
That's where you go, okay, it's time to move on. You waited too long to move on from him and stuff like that.
Did I tell you guys I expect Mikey King to beat out Cutter Boley?
You did?
Okay. I just want to make sure of that.
Really?
He's made that clear right there. But I mean, I look, to me, it doesn't matter who ASU hires. It's just it was time to move on.
No, I think it does matter. I think it does matter. I don't think you can just bring in any name.
I'll put it this way. I have faith that they're going to hire the right person.
Oh, well, I do too. I think
somebody that will have success here.
I think Graham Rossini is a pretty sharp guy.
He's not going to miss.
Look.
Unlike Monty Austin.
I know this is a sport that no one really kind of cares about on the whole, but the ASU women's volleyball team under Van Hill. I mean, who the heck was this guy? And they've been so dynamic. I mean, they've won the Big 12 2 years in a row. Yeah. They've been in the NCAA postseason tournament. I think they got knocked out in the second round this year. I mean, that's a hell of a hire. I didn't know who the hell, but Rossini's bringing in the right people there. I don't even know who their beach volleyball person is,
but he's
again,
good.
Yeah. I mean, he's making a lot of good hires.
No, that's why I have faith in him. That's what I mean by it doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm not going to be fretting over it like I was with like who the Cardinals going to hire, because they could have messed this up royally. I have 100% confidence that whoever he hires, I'm not saying he's going to win championships, but it's going to be somebody that's going to at least lead you in the right direction and to improve things there. And that's why I kind of think that keep that route out there.
You know something I read that relative to ASU basketball that it's just disheartening. Do you know between Bobby Hurley and Herb Sendek, there's 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Sendek went to 2 NCAAs, Hurley went to 3. That's 5 tournaments in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
In the previous 30 years before Hurley and Sendek, Sun Devils went to 5 NCAA tournaments. I mean, damn, that's 10 tournaments in 50 years? Are you kidding me? I mean, damn.
And you're using tournament term very loosely.
Dayton is a tournament
Dayton really
game.
count.
Dayton
Really
is a
count.
tournament game.
In my mind, there's only 64 teams that make the tournament. And Dayton does not count. But if you got to count it, you count it.
It counts because let me tell you something. If you win, Dayton had a chance to go on and win the tournament because they were in the tournament. If they weren't in it, they wouldn't have had that chance.
Yeah.
So there you go, Dale.
Robert says, hey, 63 is not old.
Hey, Robert, I'm projecting 10 years and beyond.
I don't think you can do that as an ASU guy.
I do, unlike Dale. Dale just called me out. I'm one of those guys.
I would be okay with a 5, 6, 7 year guy that sets the foundation and moving forward and sets up the NIL process and does all that
couple
stuff.
tournament appearances, and hey, maybe somebody else shows interest, or guess what? I got to bring a younger guy with me.
He takes St. Mary's to the tournament, but then he wins in the tournament. I don't want somebody that, this guy goes to the tournament every couple years in this lower league, but doesn't do anything and gets eliminated in the first round. He wins in the first round. The San Diego State coach wins a couple games.
And here's the deal.
That's what I like.
Here's the deal. Whoever comes here is coming to a conference that has a lot of heavyweights.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
4 or 5 of them on top.
Absolutely.
At least.
Absolutely. And so you're not going to come from a smaller conference that maybe only had one other.
Right.
And so you come in. So what? But
somebody that can compete.
But I don't have a problem with that because you win with players. And if they have the resources that they're going to spend and allocate to get those players, like BYU's did with DeBonza, and I also saw that BYU's getting another one of these 5-star guys.
He's in
so
line.
so they have they're spending the money. If ASU does that, they'll be okay.
But here's my thing. Here's what I'm looking at the next coach. Forget about Arizona, Houston, Kansas, and the other good teams I'm forgetting about in the Big 12. Forget about them. Don't compete with those 5, 6 teams at the top, but be good enough that you can beat everybody else in there. So you're in that 6th spot. You're in that 7th spot.
See, Steve,
that's a minimum.
Steve,
the consistency thing that Bobby Hurley was missing was consistency in beating the bad teams in conference. Get somebody that can beat the bad teams in conference, Coop, and then you can focus on the Arizona and Kansases. I don't want to hear your nonsense right now.
I couldn't play for you.
Yeah.
I couldn't play. Dude, I'm not coming in to be a middling. I'm coming in to be a champion.
Well, then, you know what, Coop? Dreaming's free.
Well, hey, look. Well, that's why I'm going to compete. That's why I'm going to compete.
Yeah, because Arizona State competes at this.
Well, if they spend the money, they can compete. If they spend the money, they can compete. It's all about
my point. See, you take my points all wrong. Compete with those guys. We want you to beat those guys. But you need consistency that Bobby Hurley. Going and losing to UCF and then losing to West Virginia is jokes. You should have beaten both those teams.
If I have players that can compete with the best, trust me, they'll beat those middlings you're talking about.
They'll
beat those middlings they're talking. Dude, I couldn't play for Steve. I couldn't. I couldn't, man. I mean, Steve's okay with mediocrity, dude. I'm not. I ain't feeling mediocrity.
How is going from third to last to finishing sixth place in the Big 12 mediocrity?
Dude, they're pitiful.
In a year, in a year or two.
Look, they're pitiful right now, but that doesn't mean that I have to stay pitiful.
Bruce is the guy that goes, "Oh, this is the worst restaurant on the planet. This is the best restaurant on the planet. So nobody else can compete with it." And then you go to a bad restaurant and you're just like, "This sucks. This can't get improved at all." It's baby steps, Coop. You got to get there slowly.
Dude, you're talking apples and oranges now. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The next ASU basketball coach that they hire, I hope he has winning the Big 12 in mind.
You should. My point is, though, Bobby Hurley's problem was, and
they didn't have the players.
They didn't have the consistency to beat the bad teams in the Big 12. You need a coach that, at a minimum, can beat the bad teams in the Big 12.
But you do.
At a minimum. That's the standard. That's the baseline, Coop.
But it starts. Look. It starts with.
They'll get in there with this nonsense.
It starts with getting some of those 5-star players, getting some of those guys in here, and that they play. You know, I've seen Bobby bring in some 5-star guys that either get hurt, but that's what they do. They get hurt, and or some might want some like Joshua Christopher wants to protect his first round status, so he sits and doesn't play. Look, I need some players. Because Tommy Lloyd's not going to win without Brandon Burry's a 5-star, Koa Pete without a 5-star. I mean, he's just not.
Right.
But he got those guys in. I need Bobby to get those guys, and I like the fact that he went international because I like Masamba Diop. But see, I already see Masamba Diop's deficiencies. He's just not strong enough. No, I've got to put the dude in the weight room.
Right.
That's the number one thing I'm doing.
That's what the offseason is.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, but here's the deal now. Is he a guy that is going to leave because Bobby's not there?
Likes he's tied to one of the assistant coaches there. And where that guy go? Yeah, I was reading all about this.
Good.
If that guy leaves, he will follow him, but he's tied to a guy. He came here because of that guy. I can't remember who it was. And he's tied to him. So if he's able to stay, he will stay. If not, he will follow him.
Well, then he needs to stay.
Is what he's doing there. So Robert says, does Jordan not have a brother? Yeah, exactly, Robert. Finish us up here. Get us out of here on this Friday with how great the Suns are looking.
Hey, I look.
Give us some positivity today.
The one thing I love, because I know I was poo-pooing. I'm saying, like, look, the Suns suck right now. They have too many people injured, and we're playing people like Isaiah Livers and Jamari Bouye. That time should be going to Malawak and Rasheer Fleming. Well, darn it, they started giving that time to Malawak and Fleming, and now it's to the point to where it's like, dude, if we get our people back healthy again, can you really go and sit Rasheer Fleming and Malawak now?
You got to get him in the lineup.
Right? From the math standpoint, you got too many people now that you're trying to find minutes for. But I love the fact that, look, Rasheer's getting offensive rebounds just based on his athleticism and length. He's knocking down that 3-point shot. He's blocking shots. Malawak, I saw him finish 2 left-handed layups the other day. I'm seeing him go up against, I call him box office, but the New Orleans Pelicans because when he first came into the league.
I know, and I'm forgetting his name right now.
Williamson.
Yeah.
From Duke.
Yeah.
Zion.
Look, he gave him fits. And he couldn't overpower him because of his length and what he was doing. I'm like, man, I can't sit this dude. I got to find him in my rotation. But when Mark Williams comes back, I got Williams, I got Oso, and now I got Malawak that I got to get on there. When Brooks comes back, I got to find room to keep Rasheer Fleming in there because Goodwin's going to deserve time, and so does Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
Look, I got too many people now. I got too many people, not enough minutes to play them in.
You know what was so fascinating about last night was the fact that, number one, I like the way that Jalen Green is starting to work his way into the
36
lineup.
points.
And becoming part of the group.
He's looking like that dude that was in Houston.
Yes. And another week continuing this. Now, competition's going to obviously get much steeper. But I'm watching Devin Booker after the game getting interviewed, and I'm watching Dylan Brooks walk by in street clothes. You're watching Mark Williams walk by in street clothes. You're watching Grayson Allen walking by in street clothes. This team has a chance. Now, again, they might lose the next 4 games or maybe 3 of the next 4 games.
Oh, dude, they got a tough schedule.
Yes.
Back-to-back tonight, and then back-to-back coming up with 2 hard teams, Minnesota,
Boston
and then
Celtics, and Minnesota.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so.
And then they finish with the Spurs on this road trip.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, but right now, they're a game out of the 6th spot. They're really 2 games out of the 4th spot.
I think they're 1 out of the 6th and 5th spot because they keep losing. But the thing that I've noticed, and we talked a little bit about it yesterday, is like the other night when Green faked out the cat and he fell down and he pointed at him. That you're seeing that fun, loving Suns team again. Like the bench exploded.
Dylan Brooks
that's
loves
been
that.
missing. That's been missing like crazy, and we've seen it these last week or so come back to this team. It's like whatever they were going through, the tiredness, the mental fatigue, whatever. It's like something's happened to this team where they're like, we're having fun again.
And here's the deal. So Colin Gillespie, who really seems like he gets it going in the 4th quarter, he noticed that Jalen Green had it going in that 4th quarter.
Yeah.
I think Green scored something like 17 of his 36 in that 4th quarter. And so what Gillespie did is like, I don't need to shoot the rock.
Right.
And I'm going to feed the guy that's hot. And so I love that about him because I noticed Chris Paul used to do that. Chris Paul, when the Suns, when they were going on their big sprees, their long best record in the league and stuff like that, when the Suns needed tough shots, it was him that was either making those shots or creating for. But when he noticed that someone like Booker or somebody else had it going, he deferred. I mean, he kept feeding him. I saw that from Gillespie last night. I'm like, boy, I like Colin Gillespie a lot.
I mean, they need to do it to the point like they did with Bam and, just feed him 83.
Yeah, man. I mean, look. I tell you what, Spoelstra and Bam are taking too much grief.
They are,
but
at the same time, I just ignore it because I'm like, when Kobe got 51 or Booker got 51, like it's great. But also, you know how you get to that is some shenanigans happen out there. Coop, I'll leave you with this. And Dale, Autumn says, can you please all hug at the end so I know everything's okay?
I'm sitting over minding my own business.
Autumn, I apologize. Look.
So your mom thought you two hated each other, and now we got Autumn at home wondering if we hate each other.
So maybe I'm the problem.
Yeah, there is one constant.
Yeah. Hey, but I'll tell you this, Autumn. Look. I mean, I have organizations, I have teams, I have personnel directors and owners and stuff that are really beginning to tee me off. I just want to win. Is it asking too much for me to be?
It's not realistic.
In the valley, we can't have nice things, Coop.
Yes. We and Dale are jaded guys doing this, and Coop's just like, we just want to win. Robert says, great show today, guys. Love to hear Coop's crazy takes.
Hey, but they're correct.
So we'll get Coop back in here next week for everybody. We're going to get out of here. I got WWE tonight.
WWE?
Oh, yeah. You and Dale can go
Are
poo-poo
you
that.
high?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my
yes.
gosh.
And everything.
You
we're
know
going to have
that's
fun.
fake, don't you? You know that's fake, don't you?
What?
You know WWE's
No,
fake.
it's scripted.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Hey,
fake,
by the
whatever.
way, Jelly Roll's in town. He'll be on tonight, so I might get to meet Jelly Roll tonight.
He's at WWE.
Yeah, oh yeah. See,
He's
Dale,
got more class
all the
than
cool
that.
people are going to be at SmackDown
He's got more
tonight.
class than that.
All the lame squares are going to be wherever they're going to be tonight, folks. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.